Do you guys feel like I know you've dealt with a lot of stuff as a team this year, but do you feel there's maybe like a little bit of a missed opportunity just with the home record this year being what it was, just considering y'all have played so well in the Superdome during your time here?
Yeah, we're in the middle of the season, so it's not like a reflection. We're fighting right now to play these last two games well. So that would be something in the off season you look back on. Certainly, we want to play better at home, and this will be an important game.
Sean, would you say you guys are preparing for both Sam Darnold and Cam Newton together?
Yeah, you have to, and because what you can't control is how much both play. We know Sam will start, but we're defending both packages. Yes.
Are those packages? I know this is a stupid question. Those packages are pretty different, aren't they?
Well, look, I'm not going to. It'd be like having a package when Taysom entered the game at quarterback, and just knowing that there's a strong run threat and someone who's really gifted at it. And sometimes it can just be situational. It could be tight red zone, short yardage, but just understanding, what happens with either quarterback in the game. I think that's the way you have to approach it.
Hey, Sean, I know that nothing in the last 2 years has really been normal, but given last week how really abnormal it was, has this week been kind of back to normal, if that makes sense in some regard?
Well, look, comparing it to last week, yeah, and we're still dealing with some COVID and injury issues ourselves, and I think the next 24 hours are going to be important relative to a handful of our players. Yeah, but I mean, it couldn't be anything close to what it was a week ago.
Sean, when that's going on in your building, do you kind of have to have built-in contingencies for some of the stuff that you guys are planning to do, just in case somebody gets knocked out on like a Saturday or something like that?
Yep. You have to look. I'm saying this. Forget COVID. You're always prepping your roster, not just your starting 11 on each side of the ball or 12 or in other words, in the event someone pulls a hamstring on a Friday. Now this is a little bit more fluid because this can kind of indiscriminately come regardless of how much someone practices. So. But yeah, you're training, guys to do multiple things.
Hey, Sean, when you look at P.J. Williams' career and just, kind of how it started and just how well he's doing now, what was it about him that made you just, really believe in him and, and where he is now?
Well, two traits. The pro day, that was Jameis's pro day. They, I'm going to say had 6 or 7 players. He's got really good ball skills and he's smart. And those are good traits, for a defensive back and a corner. He's played outside, he's played nickel, he's played free safety. So his football IQ allows him to do some of those things and do them pretty well. And then, if the ball's near him, he can catch it and turn it over. He's also, I think, a pretty good pressure player when he rushes.
Sean, how do you guys think Pete Werner did last week filling in with those guys out? And just what are some of the positive traits that you've seen from him just being around him now for a season?
Yeah, he's smart. He's got good instincts. I thought he played well. I thought he played really well. Defensively, we did a lot of things well. So I'm encouraged with this first season in how he's doing. He's really instinctive and and you see the progress on tape. All right, thank you guys.
can reference the camera kind of. So
I got you.
You can bounce.
Yep.
Amy, you can start us off.
Awesome. Welcome back. How weird was it not being out there on Monday? Did you were you pacing around your living room? Just like, what was that experience like for you?
It's been a while since I hadn't played in a game. So yeah, it was a little bit awkward. Trying to tune in from home and not even being able to be around anybody. So watching it kind of in isolation was a little different. And then obviously, you kind of feel helpless a little bit as you watch what takes part. But that's just part of the game. So many players are experiencing that. This year, a lot of guys obviously on our team. But yeah, definitely something that I hadn't been used to.
AD?
Malcolm, how significantly different are they offensively now than they were, in week 2? I mean, every team changes, personnel or injuries or whatever. Are they significantly different offensively?
I believe so. I think when you watch when Darnold's in there and when you got Cam Newton there, it's the same offense in general, but there's a lot more runs that are predicated to Cam and his style. So you got the quarterback power. There's a lot more the zone read, the QB keep runs that you got to be really paying attention for in those critical yards or third downs and shorts and in the red zone. Some of those things don't show up with other quarterback in there. So, and we're sure we're going to probably see both of them at some point in the game, or at least we're preparing to. So, you got to be able to kind of turn the page depending on who the quarterback is and what plays are up and available. But I think you have seen them develop a little bit different personality than when we saw them early in the year.
Nick?
This is kind of a dumb question because the answer is kind of obvious, but I'd just like to hear your thoughts on it. Just what is Marcus Williams' impact on a secondary?
Man, I think to me, when I watch him on tape, he's got more range probably than anybody in this league. We're talking about just being able to erase deep balls that between the numbers on the deep part of the field. So the range is something that we miss. He's a great communicator, gets guys lined up, tackles well out of split safety. So we ask our safeties to do a lot out of split safety, being able to show up and run support, but also be able to erase deep passes in the back end, and he's got that down pack. So obviously missing him is a big part of what we do.
Amy?
What was your impression of PJ filling in for you last week?
Yeah, I think, PJ is a guy that we rely on to be, versatile. He's that guy. He's the next up at almost every position, whether it's, corner or the nickel, the dime, strong safety, free safety. We really ask him to know it all. And I've been that guy in my career, almost every place I've been, having to understand and learn multiple positions. And it's not an easy thing to do. So to see him step in and really, play well. He's been playing well all year. But to have to kind of bounce around in secondary and still be productive no matter where you are on the field is something, that's special. And I think PJ's, him elevating his play has obviously been a big reason why we've been able to be consistent throughout the year, even when we got guys like myself out or Marcus Williams out.
Rod Walker?
Hey, Malcolm, I was actually going to ask kind of the same thing, but just how hard is that to do what PJ did, what he was able to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, but it comes down to your preparation, your maturity as a player and with the game, and then being able to compartmentalize, the game plan. One play, your first down, you're playing strong safety. Third down, you might be at the nickel or you might be at free safety, and the angles, the communication, the caveats within the defense are all different. So to do that, you have to really have a solid understanding of the entire game plan. And it wasn't a dumbed down, game plan. It was, the same stuff that we like to roll out every week. And so that bandwidth gets pretty full on some players, but obviously PJ's been in this role now for a couple years, and I think is really starting to step into his own as a player, making a ton of production on the football. A great tackler has always been, and now being able to bounce around, I think it's just we say it all the time in this league, the more you can do, the longer you stay around. That's a big reason why PJ's been around here.
Luke? And Malcolm, I'm not trying to call you old or anything, but I know it's been a long time since you've been a rookie. I'm just curious what you think of how difficult it is for somebody like Paulson Adebo to step in as a rookie, facing NFL receivers, taking that jump, and how you think he's kind of developed as years going on.
Yeah, I mean, when he came in, we saw immediately he's got a mature spirit to him. The game doesn't seem fast. It doesn't seem, too much for him. He's still learning. He'll make a mistake here or there, but different than I can even remember my rookie year trying to play corner. It's not easy. And your confidence is one of those things that's usually hard to maintain over a season that's now double the length of what you're used to in college. But he's been consistent. His routine, his practice habits, his attentiveness in the meetings, and then his ability to continue to get better as the week goes on, or as the weeks go on, has really been impressive for him to be such a young player. I think that's obviously, hats off to the coaching staff, to some of the leaders in the room, but really for Debo, because you see a lot of rookies get lost in the process, get lost in the longevity of the season, and aren't able to be as consistent. And he's somebody who's been, I think a stable piece of what we're doing on defense.
And does it matter to you where your wins and losses happen? I mean, you guys are 7-8 right now, but a lot of those losses have come at the Dome. Does that matter to you at all?
Well, there's nothing we can do about it right now. But I think, stepping out to, when you zoom out of the season, you usually want to play well at home. And even if you split on the road, you're looking probably at 10 wins at that point, 10, 11 wins. So we're not used to not playing great at home. But at this point in the season, you're going to do whatever it's all behind us. You got to do whatever you got to do to get the win this week. So it really doesn't matter at this moment, but obviously we want to play well at home.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking about that, like in terms of like missed opportunity or whatever, because y'all are usually pretty good there.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's games where we probably, you look on paper and say we shouldn't have won, that we won, and there's games where we felt like we should have won and didn't. That's just how the season, plays out. And again, where we are right now, we're not at the luxury to be able to nitpick what has taken place and transpired up until this point. We only have the opportunity of this game in front of us, and if we want to have an opportunity of playing into the postseason.
Gotcha. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Got time for a couple more. Amy?
Yeah, circling back to my first question, just when you tested positive last week, were you feeling okay? Some guys said that they were having symptoms of, various severity.
Yeah, I actually self-tested just because I wanted to, make sure. I know COVID was going around, so I voluntarily tested and tested positive, and then I started developing symptoms pretty soon thereafter. So yeah, I know there's a few guys that had some symptoms. I was one of them.
Last one here, Nick.
Malcolm, how did you feel like DA handled that spot role as the head coach? And just what are some of the things that stand out about him for you being here before and then coming back and seeing, how he's developed since then?
Yeah, when I was here before, he was the DB coach. But even then, you saw that he had a mind of a coordinator. And he went on to be a head coach himself. So he's been in these situations, and you can tell that he was prepared, to step into it. It wasn't just, your average kind of, off or replacement, your head coach gets fired or something like that where you step in. It's, not only are you missing your coach, you're missing players, and to be able to do it all kind of with the chaos and the things happening during the week, having to adjust the game plan and keep the team together, keep the team focused. I thought it was great playing like they did in Tampa, and even last week, I thought guys, for as crazy as the week was, were prepared to go into the game and play as best they could. But I think his leadership was a big part of that.
Appreciate it, Malcolm. Thank you.
All right, no problem. We record this line. I'm back, and we need you back in the dome. It's back in the dome this Sunday, right? Yep. All right. Let's go. And then what is it? Let's go? Yep. All right. I'm back. We need you back in the dome this Sunday. Let's go. Cool.
Thanks, Malcolm. Yep. Have a good one.
Exciting news for the second year in a row. You won our Media Appreciation Award again.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
It's a prestigious award, man. It's not many people that have the honor of hoisting this trophy and doing it with such grace and such swagger, and I'm just so appreciative, man. I mean, this is one of the, I was looking forward to this. Appreciate y'all again.
Grace and swagger, those are actually the top two qualities we look for, grace and swagger.
There we go.
And
So I just checked the boxes.
We genuinely do appreciate it, though. You give us entertaining answers, but also honest ones.
No
so
doubt.
thank you for that, man.
No doubt. Can't tell a lie.
All right, John.
And now,
you look it
do a
up.
good answering all our questions, please.
Let's do it.
Yep. Go ahead, JD.
That's one of the best receptions I've ever heard in my life, Alan. Alvin, you guys are significantly different offensively than the first time you played this team. Just can you put your arms around how different you guys are? You don't have Jameis, obviously. You don't have your two tackles. You don't have Andrews. You don't have the people that were there the first time.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's kind of what's been going on this season. A lot of ups and downs. A lot of people in and out. I mean, I was hurt for a little bit. Like you said, our tackles. I mean, our offensive line is depleted. Quarterback gone, but I mean, it is what it is. Nobody feels sorry for us, and I mean, football don't stop for nobody. Time don't stop for nobody. So we just keep moving and keep trying to counter some of these punches. So it is what it is. We still got a game to play. We're preparing and staying focused and getting ready like any other week. So it's definitely a different team, but I think whoever steps in, they got the same goal in mind. I mean, there's no drop off expected. We expect to go in and try to do what we got to do to get a victory.
Amy Just?
Yeah, obviously you were around last week, but a lot of other people weren't. Just how weird was it with 20 plus guys going on and off the COVID list and not really knowing who was going to be able to play last week, and kind of some of that continuing into this week too?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen really. I'm saying these are unique circumstances. These past 2 years have been crazy with this pandemic. So, I mean, you never know who it's going to take out. Usually it's a couple of guys, but to have 20 guys, 20 plus guys, and then, guys still out. Guys, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. Guys might still catch it. So, I mean, I've never been a part of something like that. And, it was tough. I mean, we know what we were dealing with. We had to go in and try to play the best we could with what we had. And, I mean, I don't even think we barely had any depth, honestly. We probably had five or six players worth of depth between the offense and defense, maybe. So, I mean, it was tough, but it is what it is. Like I said, it don't stop. It keeps moving. You know what I'm saying? We can't. The NFL don't feel sorry for us. Nobody feels sorry for us. So it is what it is.
Luke Johnson?
Alvin, is somebody who was testing negative throughout that whole time? Like, what's the kind of feeling when everybody's testing positive around you and like you don't know if you're going to test positive?
Man.
Like how do you
really? These protocols is a little different now. So, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of it's funny. I'll say that to say the least. But I made sure to test. I think Malcolm was talking about he self-tested. But you just got to do your best to stay safe. Me personally, I think. Just despite the protocols, whatever they may be, I think everybody should get tested. I mean, I wouldn't want to not test and come in here and infect my teammates. I don't care about the foot. Like in this point in time, if we're talking about COVID and this virus, I don't care about football. It's people's families, it's people's health that's at stake, at risk. So I mean, I would want to test every day to figure out, to know if I have COVID, so I don't spread it. And to know that I have COVID, so I don't, if God forbid, it affects me negatively, I would want to be ahead of that. So, I mean, thankfully I haven't tested positive. I mean, I had it last year, but I haven't tested positive this year. And then thankfully the guys that have had it, they've been pretty healthy. I think everybody's kind of, been able to deal with it and not have too many symptoms. So that's a good thing. But I mean, it just sucks. It's kind of where we at as a world right now in the world.
Nick Underhill?
When you're running, like, do you like know your blockers? Do you know their tendencies and anticipate things based off of what they do, or are you just kind of running behind whoever's back there and it doesn't really make a difference?
No, I think I got a pretty good feel for everybody that's blocking, whether it be Quez on the outside, whether it be C's, whether it be Teron, whether it be Jawan. You know, I think I got a pretty good gauge on how, you know, guys take on blocks and, you know, what their strengths and where their weaknesses are. But I think what people don't know, like, you guys know because you guys are always around, but like the average fan watching, like, they think we just come in on Sunday and just play a game, and that's not the case. Like, I mean, we talk, like, C's come up to me more than anybody and be like, hey, what you thinking about on this play? Like, because I'm going to do this, and if you do this, I'll do this. I'm like, bro, just go. I know, I can feel it. I know, you know, I mean, we got a lot of time on task on a lot of these things. So, but if it's something that you suggesting, then shit, I'll listen. Just like with Teron will come up to me in the middle of the game and be like, hey, this end is weak. I'm gonna just go maul them and just run. I'm like, all right, cool, I got you. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for your cue. So I think I'm in tune to all those things, as far as, like, you know, running behind my blockers goes. Because I mean, we talk and we communicate.
So like when guys are going in and out, like does that affect you? And is it easier to make those adjustments with people that you've been doing it with for a while?
Yeah, it's easier to make those adjustments for sure. Like with a Teron, I mean, I've been playing with Teron for 5 years now. With Ram and, you know, C's has been 2, and Eric. But I mean, even with guys coming in and coming out, I mean, like with Clapp playing and Throck, you know, getting time and Hurst, you know, I think I got a pretty good beat, and they kind of got a pretty good feel for, you know, how I run, because I mean, it's a lot of times when they're talking and they're like, man, I thought you were tackled, and then you just kept going. I'm like, yeah. So I mean, we all just play off each other, and I mean, it's every game we're learning, because even with Teron and those guys and even Adam. You know, just being a new fullback, like with him, we learning every game, and it's stuff that maybe he might do, and I'm like, dang, okay, that's new, or it's something that I might do, and he's like, man, that happened fast. So we just playing off each other and learning. It's always a, you know, evolution. It's always I think a learning process every game.
Got time for one more from Mike Triplett.
Hey, Alvin, since you haven't tested positive yet, are you taking extra precautions since, you know, it's hit 70% of the team? I mean, are you quarantining yourself, or? I mean, it's
I think, you know, with like last week, you know, it was hard to kind of get a beat on what was going on, because, you know, we tried our best. We kind of went to virtual meetings and did a little bit of that, but I mean, we still had to get some practices in. So with not knowing who had it and who didn't, it was tough, and it's hard to say, like, quarantine yourself, because, you know, we're out here interacting with each other, coaches, players, and then you go home and, you know, you might test the next day, you might not have it. Incubation period plays a role, and, you know, you sitting around thinking you're safe, and then guys are like, oh, well, I got it. So it's hard, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. Outside of this building, I think, I mean, it's easier. You could just go home and chill, kind of stay away from everybody, but in the building, it's tough because we're so close and we're all together, whether it's meeting rooms, and, you know, the protocols are, you know, they got protocols in place, but I mean, they're not 100%, obviously. So.
And what is it about the new protocols that had you scratching your head? I saw you said that on Twitter too. Is it that you don't have to test as much?
Yeah, you don't got to test. Then you can come back within 10 days. Then 2 days later, they say you can come back within 5 days. You can come back if you're positive still. I don't know. I mean, I guess the doctors at the NFL, they figuring it out. So I'm just, you know, I'm an employee.
All right, we're all set. Thanks for the time, AK.
No doubt. Appreciate you. Yeah.